Today I wanted to have a look at the beta for PopOS 24.04. This is the beta that comes with the Cosmic desktop environment released in its beta form. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about this release and this distribution. And overall, what I find about it is there's some things about it that are really nice and really cool. And I got to say, there's a few bugs I'm having. I will say in the outset, though, that some of my supporters over here on our Matrix server are not encountering these same bugs. I'll talk about those and what they are, and we'll see if it's widespread or is it something weird on my system. Now, I am installing this on real hardware. I have my external SSD, which is used for doing hardware, and then I am running this on the laptop so that we can take full effect of wireless and Bluetooth and make sure all that stuff kind of there is working there. And of course, I didn't grab any Bluetooth devices I can connect to, but oh well, at least we can see Bluetooth is there and at least makes an appearance on the system, and it is showing correctly. Of course, in this setting, we have balanced and a high performance option for our batteries. There is a power savings. We can go to an extended battery savings here as well. That dimmed the screen quite a bit. There's our balanced and our high performance. We'll just go ahead and keep it on balanced. And let me just make sure my hotkeys for my screen size works. Yeah. So you can see there, it's obviously you can't see the screen dimming and brightening, but that is my laptop screen. Let's check the volume controls. Those are working just fine. There's mute, there's unmute, and I'm not going to push all of the other ones. But overall, the system is working as we would expect it to. And I do like, while we're in there, let's go ahead and have a look at the rest of the settings here. Here's your wireless settings, and down there's our wireless. We are using the Wi-Fi here, not hardwired in. And there's also the VPN options here, so you can add VPN networks here if you want to. There's a lot of options in there. And again, if you just download an OPVN file, you could probably get that set up. Here's your Bluetooth. You can turn it on or turn it off. And then you can manage your Bluetooth devices down here. Is your Bluetooth settings. Here's other Bluetooth devices. Let me grab something real quick and see if I can test something out. So as far as adding a Bluetooth item, I have no idea how to do that. I put, oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I had to toggle that on and off. Okay. So there you go. So it was able to get connected onto my Bluetooth headphones. So that actually worked out. So that actually was good. Let me go ahead and I'm going to test turning Bluetooth off. And we'll turn it back on. We'll see if... turn that back on. Okay, so I had to come back in here and re-push the connect button to get it reconnected, but then that actually did end up working, so that's good. Here's your accessibility options. As far as your desktop, now this is something I want to mention here, is that you can see my layout here is a more traditional Windows-esque layout. Of course, we still don't have a menu over here, but we have our task manager over here on the bottom, and we have our applications and things over here as well on a single panel. The other option, of course, their default is to use the docs, and all this information is at the top, and that is an original welcome screen that you can configure those, and I have not found any way to relaunch that or to reset this so I can go back. I'd figure under the panel settings there might be the option. I guess maybe what I could do is I could move the panel to the top and then just edit and configure all this kind of stuff down. That would be a little bit more difficult task to accomplish. And then also in here, I can turn on the dock. So I can kind of restore it back to that. But even that, it's not exactly the way I was looking for a way to go back and relaunch the original means of setting the system up so that you could configure it. I couldn't find a way to do that, so it'd be nice if we had that option. But you can adjust the panel and the dock. Of course, in this mode, the dock is turned off. The panel is on the bottom. And then window management. Do you want to float windows, or do you want to run your tiling window manager, which you can easily toggle down here. So you can turn this guy on here, and that would, not that one, this one here. Do the tiled here, and that will actually move your tiled things around a little bit. So you have the options in there, of course, to do that. Now, I personally like the floating. I'm not actually a huge fan of the tiled Windows managers, but you have those options there for those that like it. And of course, you can configure your workspaces as well. Under your displays, we are mirroring the display. I'm recording this on OBS on the main streaming computer, and we are actually just doing a capture card. So I'm mirroring the display. The default was to extend the display, so you can see that you have the mirror and don't mirror options there. Here's your sound. I can choose what my sound output controllers happen to be. Let me go back to the dime back. That was accidental there. And then you can, the dime back, of course, is our Bluetooth headphones. And then power and battery, we've already looked at this. And of course, it's telling us our headphones actually are really low in battery power. Not surprised there. Here's your keyboard layout settings, all inside of there. Application settings, here's default applications. For some reason, it did not set Firefox as the default web browser, even though that is what is installed by default, but it did actually pester me to set that as the default web browser. Here's application X11 applications compatibility. I've never played around with this to see if I can make X11 applications work or not. And here's your date and the time in your system accounts. Here's firmware settings. Here's information about the computer we're actually using, so if that's of interest to you. And that is what we have as far as our settings inside of this. Now, the system here is based on Ubuntu. Let me close Audacity out. I was testing stuff out. Can I close Audacity? Hello? Go away. Go away, Audacity. Quit. Oh. Okay, well, Audacity apparently does not want to close. I am getting a lot of weird little issues with the system. Hold on. Is it a dialog box? Close this. Okay, whatever. I had to pull up a separate thing and close it. All right. So over here, you can see the processor, the CPU. It's running pretty smooth. We are running at 4 gigs of RAM. That is actually pretty high for a modern system. So I would probably, which is curious because if I look at nearly any other system I use, 1 and 2 gigabytes is pretty standard. 4 gigabytes being used, not really running anything else, is pretty heavy. Now, it doesn't feel like it's particularly heavy, and ultimately the system is fairly responsive. So the modern look and the modern design is pretty nice. Here's our launcher. You can just type applications, workspaces over there. Here's actually all the applications. And I installed Audacity, Kdenlive, and Simple Screen Recorder, just simple tests. Obviously, Simple Screen Recorder does not work. This is a Wayland-only system. But I wanted to test that out because there's all the X11 compatibility stuff people are talking about, which doesn't solve the problem most people have with the fact the reason I don't use Wayland is I cannot get good screen recorders working under Wayland. We have Kdenlive, and these were actually tests to see what was being installed. Was it flat packs or not? We'll get into that when I get into the installation of software, which is really my biggest issue. We do have a Cosmic Media Player. There's our basic settings terminal. We have a text editor. We'll get to the store in a minute. As far as Office, we have the basic LibreOffice installed. We have Thunderbird, a document scanner, document viewer. And then we have a USB flasher. That's nice. Repo Man, which manages our repositories and things like that. And so you can see it's not overbearing in the applications it has, but it does have enough information here that that it gives us a good full operating system that you can do all your basic utilities from zips and character maps and fonts and scanning utilities, flashing USB drives, but without having an overwhelming amount of bloat in it. So that's pretty good. All right, this is where we get into some of the issues, and this is what I was not able to confirm with the other people I've been talking to this morning. But you can see here that my store is completely empty. And what's interesting here is that when I first launched it up, we had things, but then I wanted to install something. Basically, all of the information, it looked like it was coming from Flatpaks. Which was curious to me, so I wanted to install something under apt to give it a try, and it told me when I went into the terminal to install something under apt, so just do a sudo apt install, and I was going to do Audacity, and it told me I had to configure dpackage. So of course with that command you do sudo dpackage and configure and a. So you'd run this. As soon as I did this, it completely killed all of the applications in the store, which was interesting. Now, I was able to install packages under apt at that point in time, but it killed everything in the store. So I started doing some examinations. And so let's pull up RepoMan here. And RepoMan under Flatpak, you can see that we have these two Flatpak repositories. And what it turns out that I found under my system is if I remove these two repositories, so now I don't have any Flatpaks, and I launch the store back up, I get all these applications back in the store. Now, I think what was going on is originally it gave us only Flatpak options, and this is giving us the Ubuntu repository options. I'm pretty sure. In fact, let me just do a quick test on something. So simple screen recorder still not showing up, even though I installed it via apt. Again, it's not something that's going to work under this system, but I was just poking and prodding. I can come over here, and if I go back in and I can add these repositories back in. Now they perpetually sit here. I let them sit here for over 5 minutes. It just simply says adding. But you go back into RepoMan, you can see that they're back, and we relaunch a store, and I have no applications again. So I thought initially that when I had taken these out, I was reinstalling things under Flatpaks because I didn't see the RepoMan, and I went to install Kdenlive. And Kdenlive, it looked like it was installing a Flatpak, just how long it took. So I came into the terminal to do a Flatpak list, and there's no Flatpaks installed. Look what's going on with that. And it just turns out that for whatever reason on my system right now, after running that dpackage configure, I cannot install anything from the store if there's any Flatpak repositories there. Now, what I didn't try yet is there is a way to import a Flatpak. So if I were to download a Flatpak resource and install it manually, it might actually work. I don't know though. So that really is my big bug in this is with those Flatpaks missing, I can install repository software, and with those Flatpaks installed, I don't see any applications at all. Now, prior to running the dpackage configure, prior to that happening, then I was able to search up applications looking for, but it looked like it only gave me the option to install Flatpak versions. And that was one of the things that was a little confusing to me. So let's go ahead and look at Kdenlive. So if you look at Kdenlive here, you can see over here, just as information is telling me we have, 136,000 FlatHub downloads. It is installed here, that tells us. But what I didn't see here anywhere is this installing a Flatpak? Is this installing an apt repository version? I wasn't particularly clear, but now that my system seems to be messed up and it won't even work under Flatpaks, I know everything I'm getting now is repository. So this is really my big main bug that let me know if anybody else is seeing this or not. Like I said, I have somebody running this exact test version who is not seeing these issues. And I'm not sure what could be said about that. So maybe it's just a simple small fluke in my system or not. And my system is up to date. I did update it this morning prior to recording the video. So overall, what is my take on PopOS? Overall, I really like the modern style, the design. Let's just talk about this in terms of Cosmic. Okay, Cosmic is the new desktop environment. Cosmic itself it is really nice to have a new desktop environment. I can say it's probably not my preferred desktop environment, but it has a lot of really good things going for it. For people that want to dive into tiled window managers, this is definitely a good lead into that, because as you start to install, load up new applications and whatnot, then you can actually experience what it's like to work with a tiling window manager. And so we have those nice options that you can simply turn on inside the settings. I'm going to turn everything back to floating because that's my personal preference, but it is really awesome to have a desktop that gives us that. It does give us a lot of these hotkeys in here for everything. We do have a lot of nice design aesthetic here. So the aesthetics of this is just really nice. I really like how it looks. And I would like to see the option to have a menu instead of this. So if I could run this with a menu instead of this layout for finding applications, I'd probably like that a little bit better. And who knows, it might actually be there. There is somewhere in the settings, there is an option to add different things onto your panels. But basically, I have a workspace switcher. I have a launcher here. This is nice and quick for people that are just looking for simple applications that you already know what you're looking for. So, and then of course, you can actually just kind of see these in the list. Okay, I want to do Thunderbird. I just hit Control-3 and that will launch Thunderbird up from that. So that's actually a really nice system. I like it. I would still kind of personally prefer a menu. So again, it's not my particular desktop environment, but I really like that we have a new desktop environment. It is polished, it is beautiful, and we do have a nice robust settings panels here, including the ability, if you don't like the particular colors. We didn't show the colors in there, but you can change your color theming around. You can go light or dark. You can automatically adjust those. You can change, of course, your wallpapers. It's expected, you can always do that. So there are some nice, compelling things about this. I really like it. So I am looking forward to hearing what, am I the only system? Is there some weird bug in this? Why am I not able to get these software stores working with Flatpak repositories? I don't know. So if I can help anybody figuring that out, or if this is just one-off system with my particular system, that's okay as well. But let me know your thoughts about PopOS with the Cosmic desktop in the comments down below.